In this video, we'll go over all the WoW news from the past week and try to compress it into a bite-sized video. Blizzard announced new features for an upcoming patch 8.8.8, with a new feature called Terrific Visions, where you're going to a future to see a good future rather than a bad one like with horrific visions. They also announced a few new allied races: the High Dwarves, the royalty version of normal dwarves, the Mecha Tauren, who I assume are cyborg versions of regular Tauren, the Kulturon Worgen, which makes sense since the normal Worgen are just cursed humans, and finally the High Mountain Goblins, which leads a lot of possibilities of different High Mountain versions of previously existing races. They also announced two new Mythic Keystone affixes. One of them is called Legit Questioning, which will summon 30 to 50 feral hogs for you to fight after 3 to 5 minutes of killing a boss. They also have one called Tub Thumping, which apparently knocks you down every time you pull a pack of mobs. They're also going to introduce a new essence, which is obtained through doing pet battles, which has the ability to reflect all incoming damage for 30 seconds, and will give you a permanent stealth as a minor trait, and all you need to do is have 30 or more max level pets. There's also two new micro holidays. One of them is Mother's Day, where you just complete a short quest where you show your appreciation for your in-game mother. And the other one requires you to go around the world with Magni and get into shenanigans. They also announced some minor adjustments to the corruption affixes and essences. Most of them are all just cosmetic stuff, like reducing the sound bites whenever the Worldvine trait is used, and renaming infinite stars to countable stars. They also announced a lot of class changes, the more noticeable one being that they're making no changes to the Shaman class. And finally, they added some new flavors of Vanilla WoW, where you'll have Orange Vanilla, Cherry WoW Classic, and Diet Doctor Classic. Wowhead also data mined a lot of stuff from the new patch. Apparently, Blizzard is finally going to give a reward to people who kept the gift in the Zoth this whole time. As long as you keep it all the way until Shadowlands, you'll receive a cosmetic appearance that spawns a whole bunch of tentacles on your body. There's also probably going to add a whole bunch of cosmetic items for completing the war campaign, and you receive these cosmetics based on which choices you picked. If you were a Sylvanas Loyalist, for example, you'll receive a transmog item version of her bow. And they're also handing out a handful of cosmetic necklaces, which will be the first ones to appear in the game since the Talisman of Binding Shard legendary necklace that dropped for one person in Vanilla WoW. And they also data mined some surfboard mounts, with no real information on how you obtain them yet, but it's more likely it'll be handed out through some kind of upcoming virtual event, either in the shop or as a charity fundraiser. Channel update. I'm still adjusting this series for my new computer. Very slow process because a lot of my programs just don't work anymore. So until I have that streamlined, these news videos are probably going to be on the back burner until I figure that stuff out. You see, my main bottleneck right now is I can't actually install QuickTime, which is 100% needed for a lot of the effects I do and a lot of the old materials I have. Without QuickTime Player, it just doesn't work, and there are no alternatives. I've looked, and I was surprised to find that there are no alternatives to creating video files with transparent backgrounds. At least with After Effects and Sony Vegas. It just doesn't exist, so I've been trying for the past 2 weeks to either find an alternative video format for creating transparent backgrounds, or just trying to install QuickTime Player, so I can get the codexes, which will allow me to actually use my old files in my video editors, and it doesn't work. I've tried every single workaround I've read online, and none of them work. It's just my computer refuses to accept QuickTime Player to be installed. I just need it so I can have the codexes so I can use my old video files. So, I don't know. I've been trying for the past 2 weeks, and nothing works, and it's just really annoying. And also, all the previous stuff I talked about was April Fool's Day stuff. So, for those of you who listen to the end of this, haha, April Fool's. Not the QuickTime stuff, though. That's real. I don't know how to get that to work. So, maybe until next week, if I can figure that out.